We often talk about leadership in business, but a key component to managing a successful business is the actual management of people, and particularly in retail businesses, many of which can be labour intensive and often require a lot of people management. So what is the difference between leadership and actual management of people? Leadership is about motivating people to understand and believe in you and the vision you've set for your business, to get people to want to work with you on achieving your goals. Leaders focus on listening, building relationships, teamwork, inspiring, motivating, and persuading individuals. While management is more about administering the actual work to people and ensuring that the day-to-day activities are being completed in a timely manner. Management includes focusing on planning, organising, directing, and controlling. And of course, there's a wide variety of management skills that are involved in being a successful manager within a retail environment. But today we're going to focus on how to practice effective people management as it relates to managing and directing the workload of your team and getting the best out of each individual. We will cover the benefits of good people management and what they can bring to your business, understand exactly what we mean by people management. We'll talk about the different personal skills a manager needs to be able to practice effective people management, which will include the ability to motivate a team, team building, how to be effective at planning and organising and understanding the impact it has on your team, effective performance management, how to manage conflict effectively, and of course having good communication skills. We'll also cover management styles and how it impacts practicing good management. What are the key styles available and what style is right for you? And lastly, we'll talk about how to practice effective people management for your business. So let's start with the benefits of effective people management and why you should invest the time and go the extra mile in the management of your team and employees to ensure that you are getting the best out of each and optimizing the performance for your business. A definition of management can be explained as the practice of handling and organizing tasks and people. And good management is doing so in a way that benefits every aspect of your business. This will include the management team, your employees, and of course your customers. Firstly, it helps improve productivity, and this can be directly linked to your top line. Your employees and team are a huge cost to your business and a critical resource for most businesses to be able to function. So when you employ good people management tactics and good people management is delivered consistently, it creates a high level of engagement within your team, which directly impacts productivity. And then you have the knock-on effect that is the positive workplace that's created. And this will contribute to a better environment for your customers as well, because the environment will lend itself to everyone. Another key benefit is that you can ensure your business is operating efficiently. And by this, I mean getting things done in the most cost-effective and time-efficient manner. This all contributes to you being able to accomplish your business objectives, the things you've set out for your business to achieve, be it daily goals, weekly goals, or overall objectives. Good people management also helps ensure financial security for your business by ensuring that your business is generating the most amount of revenue that it can to support its own costs. Productivity and efficiency all contribute to this. Another great benefit is that team-centric businesses will pick up the slack for co-workers. No business ever runs perfectly smooth. So when you have issues such as illness or other issues, team-centric businesses can pick up the slack for each other. Good management will also improve your employee retention, and this will both save your business money, but also importantly add experience to your business, which will help your customer. When you have stability and long-term employees within your business, customers are able to form relationships with them, and this enhances their experience. It also provides your business with operational stability. People know what they're supposed to be doing and are able to do it in an efficient manner. So we've talked about the benefits of good people management and what it brings to your business and why you should do it. But what exactly is people management? People management is a broad topic that includes the process of training, motivating and directing employees to optimize your workplace productivity and efficiency for your business. Whether you are the owner of a small business, a CEO, or new to management, knowing how to practice good people management of others is a key part of being successful at every level and in every role. And people management skills can always be learned or enhanced. When you have the right employees in place and you use effective people management, you will set your team up for success. In management roles at every level, there are many aspects to people management. At a very basic level, you need to organise the manpower for your business to function on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It also involves the delegation and managing of actual workflow, assigning tasks and establishing achievable goals, helping the team to prioritize and focus on the high-value work, and of course providing them with support and direction where needed. Another side of people management is the ability to handle interpersonal conflicts and difficult situations. You also need to be able to understand the people who work for you and make up your business. What are their personalities like? What are their motivations? What do they want for their own career goals? People management also involves employee training, which will encompass many aspects. It can be as basic as the onboarding for new employees, ongoing coaching of current employees, providing constructive feedback, and mentoring employees so they can develop their own careers. People management is a large component of any management role, and it does require you to invest a large amount of time and resource. But good people management can improve your business's employee morale, optimize your productivity and efficiency, and help your business have a competitive edge in the marketplace. Management and retail management in general requires people to have a wide variety of skills. There's many facets to the business. Managers are needed to have leadership skills, commercial awareness, problem solving, be an effective decision maker, and these are just some of the many skills. But today we're going to focus on the skills that are involved in people management. Firstly, the ability to motivate your team building, being able to effectively plan and organize, good performance management skills, how to minimize and manage conflict, and of course, how to have good, effective communication skills. So let's start with the ability to motivate your team, which is one of the most important skills in being able to practice good people management. Employee motivation is defined as the level of energy, commitment, and persistence that employees bring to their job roles. And of course, it goes without saying that higher employee motivation leads to better engagement and productivity. We already know that motivated employees tend to stay with the business longer, which increases experience for your business, but also reduces the cost of attrition. But what's not talked about enough is what happens when employees are not motivated. It really does put your business at risk. Low motivation means lower productivity, and you're likely to be selling less of your product or service than your business has the ability to. Selling less means less money, and when you can't make enough money, your business won't be able to survive, which you definitely want to avoid. Therefore, having the skill and knowing how to motivate your team, big or small, is vital for the success of your business. First, let's take a quick look at what causes employees to lose motivation, and there can be many factors. It can be boredom in the job role, it can be a lack of confidence in themselves or in the management, it can be an unmanageable workload, a lack of career progression, feeling underappreciated, or even issues outside of work such as family illness or financial worries. So how do you recognize demotivation in your business? Firstly, you need to look out for any changes in behavior or attitude. And we've talked about, as a manager, it's important to have strong relationships with your employees and understand them. And this will help you spot when something isn't quite right. Other telltale signs can include a lack of punctuality, changes in mood towards individuals within the business, increased illness or absence from work, a lack of productivity or focus, or perhaps an increasing reluctance to take on more responsibility and just do the bare minimum. The problem with demotivation is that it can also have an impact on the overall team, creating a negative atmosphere. And when you see increased absenteeism or lateness to work, the team are expected to pick up the slack. And over time, this can lead to further demotivation within the team, as the other colleagues feel overworked and underappreciated. So what can you do to improve the motivation within your team? Firstly, get better at communicating. Review how you talk to your team. It's much easier for your employees to feel valued and responsible for the work that they're doing if they have a clear understanding of what's going on and why they're doing it. When they're well informed, it makes it easier for them to care about the outcome. Make sure you have regular one-to-one meetings and encourage feedback. Another great technique for building motivation is to build a culture of recognition within your business. It's important that you know which members of your team are going the extra mile and who is responsible for making things happen. And equally important is acting on it. Telling the individual that you see their hard work and appreciate it is often enough to make them continue doing it. Alongside this, after you've recognised who's going the extra mile, the next step is to empower them. Sharing responsibility for certain aspects of a business means that people are more likely to want it to be a success. If the outcome is based on their performance, and if it has their name on it, they will want to work harder to make it happen. Giving increased responsibility is a great motivational tool, but it also encourages career development. And lastly, a great motivational tool is to create a positive environment. Talk to your team and find out what issues they may have. You can collect your feedback in many ways, but only once you have an idea of what the actual issues are can you start to work on fixing them. Some fixes will be quick wins, while others may take longer to resolve. But by taking the time to try and resolve issues will help create a positive environment. Some of these things cross over, but together they will help your team feel part of your business and increase their motivation. And this leads us on to the skill of team building. So what is team building? To me, team building is about understanding and maximizing your team as a unified group. And if this happens, more often than not, you will have a productive, efficient, and motivated team. Team building can create time to focus on the importance of teamwork. People learn how to work together effectively and how to manage each other's strengths and weaknesses. Through the different tasks, the team will learn more about each other, and these learnings will contribute to a better relationship and trust among the team. Bonding is important, as it can create a sense of looking out for each other. All of these will contribute to better communication, which is vital for a high-performing team. So how do you approach team building for your business? The first and most important step when you're thinking about team building activities is to identify your team's strengths and weaknesses, and start to identify any root problems that you see within your business. Are there conflicts between certain people? Do the team members need to get to know each other better? How is communication? Are people working together effectively? Or is the team just in need of a morale boost? What are your specific needs? The second step is to choose what activities you want to do with the team. I would suggest that you find things that align with the group values or their particular interests. These don't need to be costly. You can look at things that include physical activities. They come with their own set of health benefits, but they're also a great way for your team to enjoy some downtime while also building some rapport together. It allows you to keep it casual and fun while still focusing on group participation. There's activities like hiking, biking, as well as many other competitive activities. Another easy way to promote team building is to have regular social activities or regular meals together. They can provide an easy way for people to relax in each other's company and promote social interaction. Another great way to achieve team building is to do some community initiatives. Take something that aligns with the value of the individuals. Volunteering in the community can be a great way to build your team. Working together on something meaningful outside of business gives your employees a shared cause and creates instant common ground. Another easy team building opportunity is to learn something useful together. This way people feel like their time isn't being wasted. It can be anything from educational trips or training opportunities that are connected to your line of work. Everyone will have the opportunity to learn some new skills while also bonding with each other. I think one of the most important things of team building is to make it fun, and this benefit is often overlooked. But I personally believe that it is one of the most important aspects. Stepping outside the workplace to enjoy some activities together and have some fun and laugh together will promote team bonding and better levels of communication and have a positive impact on the cohesiveness of your team. And while having a motivated, cohesive team is obviously important, another skill that can greatly impact a team is the manager's ability to plan and organise. We all know that there are 4 major functions of management at any level and in any industry. And sometimes people only observe the 2 which are more outwardly facing, which is leading and controlling. But behind every managerial action should be planning and organising. And today we're talking about people management and how to do it well. So let's look at planning and organising as it relates to the management of a team and how it can impact them. When you have skills in planning and organising, it puts you in a position to anticipate needs and problems and to identify available choices, which then means you're in a position to make better decisions. Work can be completed accurately and avoid costly mistakes. Organising your work and planning ahead helps you be more efficient and productive, but also has a knock-on effect on your team. If you don't plan ahead and organise in advance, the knock-on effect for your employees can be severely detrimental to them achieving the business goals. If you don't allocate tasks in time for them to be achieved, they won't be, and the failure will cost your business time, money, and customers. If you don't plan ahead and provide the right resources, be it in materials or human capital for the tasks and activities, your team again will fail to deliver or be late, and again it will cost your business time, money, or customers. You have to add in the additional chaos and stress that's caused by the lack of planning and organisation for your team, and this will have an impact on motivation and create a lack of morale, as well as impact productivity. If you've not allocated the resources and the task correctly, your team may literally not know what needs to be done, or even if they do, they may not have the right resources to be able to achieve it. Poor manpower scheduling, a lack of instruction in a timely manner, and poor communication will all have a negative impact on your business. So what can you do to ensure that your planning and organising is up to scratch and that you're not impacting your team negatively? The first thing you can do is to manage your time effectively. This will mean understanding how much time you actually have, setting timeframes to things you want to achieve, and ensuring that you reduce interruptions. You will also need to keep up-to-date to-do lists and prioritise. Understand the difference between important tasks and urgent tasks. What can add value to your business and what is less critical. You will of course need to make sure that you set smart objectives for each thing you want to achieve, and then use the art of delegation and work allocation to ensure that you can achieve all of the things on your to-do list. By being smart, providing the right resource and giving work allocation in a timely manner will not only ensure that the things can be achieved, but will create a smooth workflow for your employees. People will have time to achieve what they need to achieve, ensuring success. Make sure you're clear and concise in your communication so that people have the right information that they need to be able to deliver, and ensure that you think ahead and consider anything that can go wrong and what the contingencies will be. And this leads us on to the next skill of being able to effectively performance manage. Performance management is a section of people management. It is the ongoing process between a manager and an employee that's used to maintain and improve the performance of an individual as part of the overall team development. It is a collaborative, communication-based process where both employees and managers work together to plan, monitor, and review an employee's objectives and long-term goals to help them develop their career and contribute to the business. It involves measuring, reporting, and managing progress to improve overall performance. So how can you ensure that you are managing your employees' performance effectively, driving the right behaviours, and help improve personal motivation and achieving the right business results? First of all, you need to make sure that you are following a performance management process that includes at least the following steps. Ensure that you are setting clear performance goals. Goals must be set, and how these goals will be evaluated must be made clear and be given specific timeframes. Make sure they're smart. The second component is to ensure that both the management and the employee are involved. Employees need to be engaged in the process and not think that the process is just a tick box exercise. Another element that is critical as part of performance management is completing progress check-ins and reviews. This allows you to track the individual performance and provides them with feedback on their development. It also allows you to provide any help and support if they need it. Another important component is to ensure that there is reward and recognition. The goal here is to encourage development and improvement for both the individual and to benefit the business, and recognition is an important factor in achieving this. And the last part of the performance management process is to ensure that you use the right tools for your business. There are many different tools you can use. Some of the most common are PDPs, personal development plans, appraisals, key performance indicators and other metrics, 360 reviews, and balance scorecards. Choose a tool that suits your individual needs and the team that you are managing. And of course, we can't talk about performance management without talking about how to manage poor performance. What is the best way to handle it? The first rule is don't delay. Managers can often wait too long to raise performance concerns with an individual employee or put off delivering tough feedback. This can often mean that the employee has a false impression of how well they're actually doing, and feedback about their poor performance is often a shock. The second rule is have the tough conversations. Most people don't like to be the bearer of bad news, so it can be tempting to soften the blow when giving employee feedback about their performance. But a lack of honesty does both you and the individual and the business a disservice. If you want your employee to genuinely have the opportunity to improve, they need to know where their performance is lacking, with specific examples. You need to be explicit about the standard that is required, and there needs to be two-way communication about how they can improve. Knowing how to have these tough conversations is a skill that can be learned and always improved upon, but it does require practice. The third critical element is to ensure that you follow through. Once you've had the tough conversation and you and the employee have come up with a plan together on how they will improve, this is often the stage where things can fall apart if nobody takes responsibility for following it through. Documenting the process here is critical for success. What is the goal? What is the time frame for achievement of the goal? How are you going to measure whether they have achieved or not achieved the goal? And how regularly will you meet during the review period for progress discussions? Failure to document the process is likely to lead back to old habits for the employee and is unlikely to bring about the change that both you and the employee want to see. And leading on from that, the next skill is how to manage conflict and those difficult situations in the workplace. Conflict in the workplace is almost inevitable. There are different personalities, usually an amount of stress, and viewpoints can differ, all of which contribute to tension and disagreement. And knowing how to manage these situations effectively is the key to keeping productivity and morale high in your business. Avoiding conflict and mismanaging it can come at a high cost to your business. And of course, some conflict can be positive, such as a healthy amount of competition between people trying to reach sales goals. But negative conflict, like bullying, can cause harm to individuals and undermine teamwork. As a manager, you need to be at the forefront when conflict occurs in your business. And if you don't tackle the conflict head on at an early stage, it is likely to escalate. So what does conflict look like? Conflict between individuals in work can occur in many ways. It can be between employees and their manager, or it can be between employees themselves. And it can occur from a wide range of issues. It can be as simple as poor attendance and punctuality, to disagreements between individuals. It can be due to personality clashes or people taking credit for someone else's work, to more serious types of treatment. Sometimes a conflict is very obvious, like when you see a heated argument, but more often than not it's less visible, such as excluding individuals from the social side of work, and oftentimes it's the more subtle behaviours that over time, if not tackled, lead to workplace disputes. So as a manager, what can you do to manage conflict? Well, firstly, prevention is always better than a cure. Try and be aware of any simmering tensions within your team. If you have a good relationship with your team, you'll be able to identify when conflict is showing. The second thing is to make sure that you challenge any inappropriate behaviour instantaneously. This sends a swift message to your team that that behaviour will not be tolerated. You should also have regular meetings with your team and create an environment where things can be discussed. And of course, try and be clear about expectations about employee conduct and behaviours. Combined, these will help you prevent conflict in the workplace. But of course, you will still encounter conflict in the workplace, so what is the best way to manage it effectively? Firstly, I would say talk to each party involved and try and piece together the story. And of course, remain objective. Make sure that you practice active listening. An important element is to ensure that you're asking the right questions. You need to ask smart questions to get to the core issue. And to do that, you need to think carefully about how you phrase your questions. And follow-up questions will be needed to drill down into the issue. You want to be able to push people to think beyond their actions. A sequence such as, what happened? Why did it happen? What circumstances allowed it to happen? Is this an isolated problem or is it an ongoing issue? You need to make sure that you frame discussions objectively. Conflicts can bring up strong emotions in individuals, and a good manager will acknowledge people's feelings. Finally, you want to try and reach a solution that all parties are happy with. In most cases, this will be a small compromise. However, sometimes you won't be able to find a solution and you'll need to make the hard decision. And in this case, you'll need to use your understanding of the individuals, the team as a whole, your business goals, to come up with a solution that has the most benefit. And the last skill we're going to discuss is having effective communication skills. It goes without saying that communication between managers and employees is one of the most important factors for any successful business to operate and to be able to practice good people management. Clear and open communication ensures that everyone is on the same page and everybody knows where they stand. The sheer volume of communication that's required in an employee-manager relationship is almost infinite, from basic task allocation to performance management to coaching. And of course, there's many different mediums in which you do communicate with your employees on a regular basis, from face-to-face to group team talks to emails and much more. So how can you ensure that you are practicing good people management through effective communication? Well, firstly, you need to ensure that you're choosing the right medium for the right message. Of course, performance concerns and discipline should be done in a face-to-face private one-to-one meeting. Group team talks can be used for collaborative conversations, and emails can be used for basic, clear, direct messages to the group. Secondly, you should ensure that you know who your audience is, and this will allow you to choose your language and tone carefully. Your tone clarifies and conveys the meaning, and it will not only affect how people perceive you, but also their willingness to listen to you. And being listened to and understood is a key component of effective communication. Next, you need to ensure that how you communicate is clear. Speak with confidence and provide clarity in the content and your actual delivery. Be clear about what you want to achieve from the communication. Set out expectations at the beginning and summarize at the end. Make sure that you know what you're trying to say and don't be ambiguous about it. Say exactly what you mean. And of course, try and be concise. Repetition and over-explanation can often destroy the meaning of a message. And make sure you have consistency in what you present, both in your words of what you actually say and of course your body language. You also need to ensure that you are listening and checking for feedback. It's not enough to deliver a message. You have to make sure that the individuals who are receiving the message understand it, and therefore feedback is required for communication to be effective. This allows you to check that the message has been correctly understood and received, and this is a necessary component for effective communication. And lastly, make sure that you listen to understand. Many of us listen to respond rather than listen to actually understand. Make sure you're listening to hear what's actually being said. And only when you understand correctly what the message is that somebody is trying to convey to you, can you effectively respond. So we've talked a lot about the personal skills that you need, but one of the other biggest factors that can impact practicing good people management is the management style that you use. So now we're going to talk about what is a management style, the different styles available, and how they lend themselves to good people management, and importantly, how to find the right fit for you. A management style can be defined as the manner in which a manager will exercise their authority in the workplace and ensure that their objectives are achieved. It is effectively how a manager goes about their job role and can include everything from the way they plan and organise themselves, to managing their time, to how they make their decisions, what is their approach to delegation and responsibility, and of course how they manage their employees directly. A management style is usually a combination of natural personality traits as well as learned behaviours, but a style will also be impacted by where the individual manager is at within their career and where a particular business is at within its business cycle. For example, if you take a new business and a small team, it will likely require a different management style than a larger, more robust business at a mature stage of its business cycle. And of course, there are other factors that can impact a management style. Firstly, there are internal factors, and these will include the type of business that you operate, the organizational levels of management within a business, and particularly where an individual sits within the management chain at any time. And of course, there are personal and personality factors. Any individual can be impacted and influenced both positively and negatively by their own manager. And of course, internal factors will include business policies that need to be considered, be it mandatory laws governing the type of business that you operate, health and safety policies, or just various business policies and priorities. The level of employee engagement will also have an impact on the management style that's needed. A highly skilled, motivated team will require a different management style than a less skilled, demotivated team. Of course, these are just examples, and there's many other internal factors that can impact a management style, depending on the type of industry that you work in, the country you operate in, and of course, the culture that you are working within. Additionally, there are many external factors that can impact a management style, and these will include many factors that are outside the direct control of your business. They can have an impact on both the management and the employees and include things such as market performance, employment laws, and the economy performance. These all affect human behaviour for both management, employees, and of course your customers. The third factor that will likely have an impact on an individual's management style is the stage that they're at within their career and the level of experience they've gained. Any individual won't have the same management style in their first role as a manager as they will 25 years down the line, where they've gained a lot of experience under their belt. Each experience teaches us something and has an impact on how we do things. But the key to being an effective manager of people is having the ability to adjust the style of management in response to the different factors while keeping your focus on successfully achieving the goals. The management style you adopt will have a big impact on how things are achieved within your business, the results you gain, and of course, your people's morale and performance. So what are the different types of management styles? Depending on which business model you look at, there are over 20 different options of management styles available. But today we're going to discuss the most commonly used. Firstly, there is the authoritative management style, and this is a type of management style that follows a top-down approach with one-way communication from management to employees. It is the most controlling of the different management styles, with the manager taking all of the decisions and communicating downwards for execution only. Employees are expected to follow the instructions, and management will provide close supervision. The upside of this management style is that, of course, it allows for quick decision-making because control is centralised and there's a clear understanding of roles and expectation. But the downside is, of course, that it can create a lot of dissatisfaction among teams and employees, which leads to a high turnover rate. The second style of management we're going to discuss is persuasive management style. And in this style, managers take the time to use their persuasive skills to persuade the employees that the decisions they've taken are for the good of the business or for the individual employees themselves. The manager in this case still retains control and decision-making power, but the difference is they spend time to try and get the buy-in of the employees. They would invite questions and explain the decision-making process and the rationale behind the different decisions. And this can help employees feel as though they're part of the team and are more trusted than they actually are. The upside to this is the manager still retains control, but employees have more buy-in and are more likely to follow the instructions. The downside is that employees can still feel restricted and become frustrated that they cannot upskill themselves in any way and partake in any solutions. The third type of management style we're going to discuss today is the consultative management style. And this is where the manager will ask for the opinions and thoughts of the individuals within the team, consulting with the various viewpoints of either all the relevant stakeholders or, in some businesses, every team member. The manager using this style will ultimately make the final decision, but they will consider all of the information that's been given to them before they do so. The pros of this style is that it can build trust between the manager and the team, and the downside is that it can be time-consuming. We're now going to discuss the laissez-faire style of management, and this is a French word for let it be, and effectively the management takes a hands-off approach. Management is present at the delegation of the tasks and activities and of course at the delivery stage, but otherwise they take a step back and give the employees a complete freedom to control their workflow and the outcomes. The employees are trusted to do the work without any supervision, and they are left to control the decision making and find solutions to any problems that arise. There are many upsides to this style of management. It can free up your own personal time as the manager. It creates morale and motivation for the team who feel ownership over the workload. But the downside can be that if the team don't have the right skills or direction, ultimately tasks may not be completed to the right standard or on time. We're next going to discuss the democratic management styles, and this is where the manager will solicit all the values and opinions of the individuals within the team. Communication in this style goes both ways, from top down and from bottom up. Management will encourage the employees to give input during the decision-making process, but ultimately the manager will remain responsible for the actual final decision. The pros of this means that the manager can take informed decisions because they have a lot more information than if they worked in silos, but the downside can be that it may be quite a time-consuming process. And the last style we're going to discuss today is the visionary management style. In this style, managers lead through inspiring their employees. The manager will explain the goals and the reasons behind them and convince the team to work towards executing their vision. Team members are motivated by their manager and then allowed the freedom to achieve the task with minimal interference. Of course, there will be some support and managers will check in from time to time, but they trust that their shared vision will be enough to keep employees on track and to achieve good results. The upside to using this management style is that you get good engagement from the employees because they tend to believe in what they're creating and it's their work that they're putting forward, so they do it to the best of their ability. Motivation and satisfaction is high and employee turnover should be low. The downside is that not all individual managers can be legitimately inspiring. If you choose to use this management style, you need to ensure that you have the right personality and charisma to carry it off to ensure that your team can deliver. There are many other types of management styles, but these are the most commonly used. The main thing when choosing a management style is to ensure that you choose one that aligns with your personality and natural style, because you need to be able to deliver consistently. The management style you adopt will have a big impact on your team, how things are achieved within your business, and the results that you gain, and of course the impact on your people's morale and their performance. So, which management style is right for you? Before you ran a business, you probably encountered a lot of different managers in the course of your career, some good and some not so good, and you probably have picked up a few of their skills along the way. You will have seen traits that you admire and want to emulate, and of course at the same time you'll have seen traits that you're not so keen on and always said to yourself, I want to avoid being like that. We all take lessons from every stage of life and our career development. In reality, you will already have a management style and you'll already be managing in a certain way. And this will be a combination of many factors. It will include your own skill set, the level of experience you've had within your career development. A lot will rest on your natural personality traits, as it's hard to adopt a style consistently that does not sit well with your personality. And of course, the size of your business and how many layers of management are in place. Who are you actually managing and how hands-on do you need to be with each person? Are you managing managers who have experience, or are you managing employees who lack those skills? It's always time well invested if you can take some time to take a step back from your current role and actually assess your performance, assess how well you are operating within your management role, and review your management style. I'm sure there's areas that you're currently happy with, there'll be areas that you believe are high performance and giving you the results that you want, and there's always opportunities for improvement. We can all enhance our skills and bring improvements to our role in our business. And in reality, with management styles, there is no one size fits all. At certain times in business, you may need to display a variety of styles. It can depend on basic activities within your business or the actual personalities that you need to deal with within the business. Each personality may require a different level of information, a different level of support, and a different level of direction. There is never a one-size-fits-all to people management, and the key to being a good people manager and an effective manager is having the ability to adjust your style in response to the different individuals. Aside from the individual personalities that you need to deal with to practice good management, there's also tasks and activities that require different management styles. For example, in a retail environment, when you're completing buying and inventory selection, collaboration is the most suitable management style here. Your employees are often the ones that are in most contact with your customers and they'll have valuable insight. Merchandising reports can only tell you what was sold, but not the missed opportunities. Employee feedback in this area can add real value and optimize potential sales. In other areas, such as audit or financial disciplines, you may need to be more directive or autocratic. There's little room for maneuver around these areas. Of course, these are just examples, but the key is to know when to adopt each style. The overall goal is that you want to get the best out of your employees, and the good managers know how to motivate and encourage their employees to get them to perform the task willingly, efficiently, and effectively. Understanding your management style, understanding the people who are working for you, and being able to react and adapt to each factor in each situation will help you practice good management of people and get the best out of your employees, because how you manage them can make or break your business. As much as the ability or skills of an employee are important, and they will have an impact on how well they can perform their job role or even how high their self-esteem is, poor people management can counteract all of that. If your management style is poor or you're choosing the situations incorrectly, it will impact their performance and their productivity. So when you're reflecting on your management style and how you currently operate, and reflecting on the areas you want to bring improvement about, where you think you can get more out of your team, consider your own personal strengths. What are you good at? Then consider the gaps in knowledge where you can lean into your team more, and perhaps your style needs to be adapted to get the best out of them. Reflect upon the different strengths that are within your team and take into account the individual personalities and what way they like to be managed. The goal is to get the best out of them. And the key to achieving all of this is having good self-awareness. Take time to reflect and be honest with yourself. So we've talked a lot about the different management styles and why it is important to effectively manage people. But what does effective people management look like in practice? The first thing you want to be able to do is to build a culture of trust within the workplace. People should feel safe talking to you, be able to open up with their ideas, and work together to find ways to enhance your business and the customer experience. And of course, not be afraid to make mistakes. Trust is an important foundation of managing people well. And if you create a culture of trust within the business, in reality, this will allow you to continually find business improvements and enhance the performance of each individual within your team, and this will enhance the customer experience. The second thing to try and practice consistently is to have the ability to focus on the positives and the strengths of each individual within your team to extract the best value. Seeing the positives and taking a moment to recognize them. Sometimes in management, the only things that come to your attention on a regular basis are the negatives. Every day things are completed, tasks are done, people perform well, but it's only when there's a problem are you drawn into the picture. And therefore you only have an opportunity to comment on the negatives. Having an ability to see the total picture and all the positives alongside the negatives and look at the people doing well and being able to lean into their strengths is a key part of practicing good management. Another good skill in practicing good people management is having the ability to balance delegation, but also not micromanaging or abandoning responsibility. And this is a tricky one to balance because each person can require different levels of communication and support in each task. So this skill requires constant evaluation and assessment on a case-by-case basis to ensure that you get the balance right for each person and each activity. You also need to be able to support team development and help progress careers within your team. And there are many layers to this, and it has multiple effects. By identifying opportunities for your employees to master new skills, it actually builds your team's depth and strength across the board, which helps your business performance and your customer experience. But it also heavily impacts the individual motivation and team morale. Another important factor in actively practicing good people management is having the personal ability to handle pressure. In any management role, you're held accountable for the performance of your business and of others, and this includes things both inside and outside of your control. And it can be a constant juggle, and there'll be days where you can feel the pressure mounting. Having the ability to be able to withstand the work-related pressure and not let it affect your management style is a critical part of successful people management. Another practice that's needed for good management is to continually manage your communication styles. Understand the audience that you're speaking to and understand the environment that you're in, be it a one-on-one person or a group team talk. Being able to communicate effectively is the lifeblood of any management role. Being able to delegate tasks, ensure that you are clearly understood, allows people to be able to perform effectively in their role and ultimately will allow your business to succeed. And lastly, but certainly not least, being able to recognize and reward good work is a good management practice. In management, it is literally impossible to do everything yourself, and therefore management is a constant game of work allocation, delegation, and follow-up. Recognizing and rewarding good work is an essential motivation tool to enable this cycle to be successful. Sometimes something as small as 30 seconds to say well done and acknowledge the work completed is all that's needed. It not only boosts individual employee engagement, but it's been found to increase productivity and loyalty to any company. By actively practicing these tactics within your business and utilizing these skills in management can make all the difference to successfully managing people and allowing you to extract the maximum benefits for your business. Your team are your best resource for driving your business forward. Retail is a highly saturated industry, with many businesses selling roughly the same services or products. There is a lot of crossover or duplication in technology, equipment, branding, and even products. But your people are what make your business unique. There is some form of people management required across all retail businesses, but there is a big distinction between people management and effective people management, and this can make a huge difference to the customer service and your business performance. The key to being highly effective at people management is firstly having the personal skills to be able to extract the talent from the individuals who work within your team. Your business talent will have a positive impact on your customer experience and your business performance. Regardless of the level of management you're currently operating at, take a step back and reflect on your own personal skills. What are your strengths and what are the impact that these are having on your people management? And what areas do you think you could further develop? What is the opportunity for business improvement in developing these skills? Self-development is vital for your individual growth and progression within your career. The second key component to effective people management is having good self-awareness. This allows you to have the ability to adapt your management style to each individual that works within your team and to each situation that presents itself. And this is the distinction between effective people management and just people management. And the last component is interpersonal relationships. Successful retail managers emphasize their relationship ability in their management style. They intentionally spend time interacting with their employees on a personal level to understand them and develop bonds. And this enables them to get the best out of each individual. There is certainly no one-size-fits-all for effective people management, but by assessing these three components for your business, for yourself, and for the team that work for you, you'll be able to find the perfect balance to optimize performance for your specific business.